Like it or not, I am a Jackson. I mean, Jackson enough for the likes of you. I love the Catholics. I love the Kennedys. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know why the UN killed JFK and blamed the CIA. I know their modus operandi. And I've had police jokingly arrest me off my front porch for a moving violation because they deduced that I had driven a car, from a church. So, who are you supposed to be, the Swiss guard? This is a godless country. Do we have to revert to theocratic flat earth tyranny? No. There is, in fact, whether Islam likes it or not, a scientific definition of classical religion. Purposes of whether or not the Navy has to sail around the globe to prove it's flat. Who has a problem with it? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Peace, man. Peace. First, do no harm, or you're just not a doctor. Your opinion doesn't matter here. Put it into practice. A barbarian barges into the House of Representatives. Sound familiar? Is he in charge? First, do no harm, or finish what you started. And the rocket's red glare gave proof through the night. You're supposed to stay the night, stupid. They shooting. Let's go home, see what's on TV. In this country, the tea goes in the harbor. You don't just storm the Bastille like a bunch of hairy Frenchmen. It's supposed to be Congress's job. Every 4 years, the tea goes in the harbor, like it or not. Like, give them another 4 years, all right. The tea goes in the harbor in 4 years. Islam is so stupid, and it's contagious. Talk about whether Israel has a right to exist. Have you read the Bible? Okay, there's an Israel in the Bible. There's no kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It was founded in 1923, 5 years after the fall of the Ottoman Empire. We went through World War I, defeat the Ottoman Empire. 5 years later, kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Subtle. Gandhi wasn't even Hindu. Saudi Arabia had been rolling India around, slapping her belly like a toothless tiger for 100 years. We're over here fighting about what a biological female is. I do not like doing this. I was forced to start doing this because whoever raped me in surgery when I was 7 years old tried to kill me before I found out when I was 35. Well, maybe it was it. Maybe you should just do your job. Maybe that. Oh God, how are we going to afford that without all the support from our greatest natural enemies in the Middle East? Well, since Islam is not technically a classical religion, it doesn't have to be protected by any rational authority outside the limits of its own geopolitical boundaries. Is there a grown-up I could speak to? Well, what does that mean for all the other non-religions, all these other cults? Act like we got to go to war so they could just human sacrifice and laugh it off all the way to the bank. Means they would have never been necessary had Europe not been invaded by Islam in the 7th and 8th century. The First Reich was because of Islam. The Second Reich, we forgot what a religion is. The Protestants weren't allowed to read for 600 years, and now they think Islam is just a cooler version of Judaism. It's not kosher. Islam believes our ancestors escaped enslavement by theirs, and we are all born fugitives of a debt that can never be repaid. That's not Judaism. Judaism keep track. You're not 13, 14, you're not contractually eligible. It's not valid. They're not chasing around little boys. That's Zoroastrianism. The same thing that they were trying to, they fled from in Babylon, and it's still there. And the Pentagon wants to act like, or whoever's pretending to represent the Pentagon, want to act like it's a tactical nuclear secret. I swear to Christ, I'll kill us all. The Army, the Navy, the Marines are not the ones raping little boys in surgery. The United Nations is confused. Thought we required Islamic intervention, like that wasn't the plan all along. My name is Noel D. Smith, single, straight, no kids, never married, no abortions, no abominations, no divorces, no bankruptcies, formerly decorated so-and-so with the yada yada, never forged ink on paper, never sold cocaine, never perjured myself under oath, The devil had 40 days and nights to try the onlyest begotten perfect man who was ever born. Perfect. Who the hell do you think you are for religious purposes? You're not even qualified devil. Why should we waste our time? First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. The barbarian Senate, invented in America. Normalcy occurs within the extreme range. I mean, talent hits a target and no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. I don't claim to be a genius, but I've read the Greeks. If that's allowed, like we don't have to terrorize our women for political agendas. Oh well. The first Continental Congress had regular jobs, wasn't all just terrorizing the unwashed masses to and fro a political agenda 4 years at a time, act like it was some kind of big contest. Seems to me like our only allies in the Middle East are locking down a plausibly deniable foil of our communications so that they can plausibly deniably manipulate election outcomes via the networked voting machines, and just, you know, if the news doesn't report it, it didn't happen. And this is why freedom of the press is worth fighting for. You want to send Pinkertons to smash my press, just buy some Pinkertons and roll up, see what your problem is, because first, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. What are you going to do? Drown the truth out of me first? So it was possible all along to reconcile the Hippocratic Oath with Catholic dogma. The problem is that we are a godless devil's playground, and our time has come. So, how appropriate that an American wrote a reconciliation for Catholic dogma. Now we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it, or we're all going to die.